All right, everyone, you know what time it is. It's time for some yoga. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to go over the latest happenings around Cyberpunk 2077 because there's a lot that has actually been happening. In fact, we have new responses from CD Projekt Red. Also, Paolo Sasco, himself had some replies to your concerns and comments about what is going on with Cyberpunk 2077. Are we going to be seeing any new improvements? So yeah, he had some choice words about that one. Very carefully chosen words working his way around the NDA. But we're also going to be talking about a new fixer, which looks to be coming to Pacifica. This is a really cool find from you all within the community. And CD Projekt Red has some new investor-related calls coming up. These are very important dates that you definitely want to pay attention to. You better believe it. And guess what? You guys remember that big controversy about Quantic Labs, the quality assurance development team that was doing QA work for CD Projekt Red? They were accused about all sorts of stuff. Well, we have a new response from their CEO about Cyberpunk 2077 and that controversy. So we'll get into that. But first, let's talk about update 1.6. Where in the world is the news about this one? So check out this thread right here. It goes on to say this: is Cyberpunk being improved? Does CD Projekt Red know what people wish to see? In short, yes. In long, Quest director Mr. Paolo Sasco talks about it as much as he is available. And yeah, if you go into the stream, he had some very chosen words, I guess you would say, about his response to this. But the question was this: Cyberpunk needs tons of minor quality of life improvements. We know that we're going to get expansion, but what about continuously patching the game and improving it? And Paolo Sasco basically said this. They say that they are aware of that, and his response is, let's see what happens. We didn't say we are not working on the game. He continues to say, you can trust there are more things coming. You have no reasons to be worried. And honestly, I kind of feel relieved by what he said here. At least he's saying something to the community. So yes, behind the scenes, they are definitely working on stuff and things. In fact, check this out. If you go to the Steam database and we look here as to what they're working on internally, privately, 3 days ago we had an update, 7 days ago we had an update. So right now it's intensifying with the internal updates, which is telling me that they're getting closer and closer to getting this next update ready. I'm hopeful that we will see update 1.6. This is me speculating now, by the end of summer. I'm crossing my fingers that happens. I'm hoping within the next 30 to 60 days. But yeah, I want update 1.6 to be an absolute monster of an update, even bigger than update 1.5. So cross my fingers there. But you know what? We have some other good news. The community took notice of this right here as well. 18,000 players. Holy single player game, by the way. Wow, that's really good numbers for a single player game that's a couple years old. And it seems like people are really holding on to Cyberpunk. And of course, modding has been helping so much, keeping the community alive with Cyberpunk 2077. So shout out to the modders and the modding community for supporting this game. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome, seriously. In fact, check out this comment right here. This was a response. It says, Ryden Low 2077 says the following: if they're going to move the bulk of the team onto Witcher 4 and the next expansion will be the last content-rich update, then they should absolutely release the modding kit. Allow the community to have every tool they need to make amazing story mods, weapons, vehicles, new areas, etc. Yes, totally agree with that. Man, can you imagine if they just released that and allowed the modding community to go absolutely crazy with Cyberpunk? That's what I think they should do. And, you know, since they're not using Red Engine 2 anymore, what's the risk? Why not? Just do it. That's what I say. But we had another response, and this is a good one right here. This one comes from Indian Amazing, who says, I wish there were random encounters that would generate on the map, like shootouts or muggings. A new fixer or something would be great too, or maybe separate ending-specific expansions. It's interesting you mention a new fixer because we have news about that. Check this out right here from Glue010, who discovered this. It says, info about new fixer guide from pre-release ad. This is related to the Cyberpunk board game that's coming up here. And yeah, Faraday does not exist currently, and it looks like he potentially could be in the game eventually. He's described as cold and calculated. He really doesn't want to get close to edge runners, but he does want to work with them. So I'm expecting him to potentially pop up here in the future for Cyberpunk. I don't know if it's going to be through a free update, but most likely the expansion, we will be seeing Faraday in some way, shape, or form. So yeah, that would be cool to have more fixer and gig type missions. But it would be also nice, to be honest with you all, to have some really cool new content that is free outside of the expansion. I think we desperately need free content. They have made no comments about the free update sort of stuff. So where in the world is that? I really, really hope that they have some comments about that one. Now, you guys are probably wondering, hey, Robbie, when are we going to hear from CD Projekt Red in official capacity talking to us, or at least investors? You guys know they like to talk to investors, like I think more than the community, except for Paulo Sasco. He's been great about his streams and stuff. But check this out right here. It says we have upcoming new reports on September 1st from CD Projekt, and then November 28th. So my thinking is that they will release a big patch before September 1st or around that time by the end of summer. That's what my thinking is here, and that'll be in the form of update 1.6. At least I'm hoping, and they can get ahead, of course, of the big releases, which I think that they're going to have that as their goal here for sure. All right, so yeah, you guys may remember that controversy about QA testing. There was a company, Quantic Labs, that was accused of basically botching Cyberpunk 2077 because they messed up quality assurance. And this is the headline right here. It says Cyberpunk QA CEO claps back, says people don't understand testing. Quantic Labs head didn't deny allegations against the firm, but did say people didn't have the full picture. So do tell us about this full picture, good sir. So let's get into it. It says, according to the source, things started getting bad for Cyberpunk QA testing around late 2019. Quantic Lab leads were apparently sent to Poland to work directly with developer CD Projekt Red. The team was supposed to consist of veteran testers, folks that had extensive experience with quality assurance, who understand the process and workflow, UEG stated. And he's the kind of like the source of this information, by the way. Source is in the description below. It says, however, those that showed up were allegedly junior testers who had less than a year, or in some instances, just 6 months of work in the field. According to UEG's source, CD Projekt Red wasn't aware of this junior tester team, instead believing they were getting veterans from Quantic Lab who had worked on The Witcher 3. If that's true, yikes, that is so bad if that is true. Of course, right now, all we can say is speculation. Now, it says this, in response to UEG's video, Quantic Lab CEO low-key told Video Games Chronicle that the whole thing was a misunderstanding. He didn't appear to deny or address any of the allegations specifically. Instead, he clarified that the claim made in the video were full of inaccuracies about QA testing. So who's in the right? Who's in the wrong? Will we ever know? That's the question. So let's keep going, because he has some chosen words here. It says, the video published on social media, as mentioned in your article, starts with incorrect statements about Quantic Lab's history. There seems to be a lack of understanding in the process for how a game is tested before it's released to the market. Furthermore, it goes on to say this right here. Quantic Lab supports over 200 projects per year from several global leading publishers and continues to maintain quality comes first approach to all work we undertake. All of our customer agreements are confidential in general, global publishers are working with several QA outsourcing companies, not depending solely on one. In addition to internal QA resources at developer level in most cases. Each project we undertake is unique with regard to project requirements. Project direction is agreed and adjusted accordingly as per real-time requirements for our clients. Quantic Lab always strives to work with transparency and integrity with our industry partners. Somewhere along the line, something happened so wrong with quality assurance. And in my opinion, the game just needed way more time. And I'm sure there's a lot of things going on in between what is being said here, in my opinion. And my personal opinion about all this, we'll never know the full picture because it's he said, she said, that sort of thing. And it's back and forth with this. So we'll never know truly. We just know that, in my opinion, you know, the leads, the board at CD Projekt Red knew that they were releasing a game in a state that was not releasable whatsoever. This definitely needed more time in the oven for sure. And it goes back to leadership. That's all I have to say about that one. If there's a problem with quality assurance, they need to find another company to work with and delay the game. All right, so let's go over my most recent video. Remember, leave a comment down below. It could end up right here in the video. So this was the video right here. It says new leak has sent fans into a total uproar. New Edge Runners update. So yeah, that new leak was what we just talked about Quantic Labs. But yeah, it didn't have the information from the CEO, which we just got today. Let's see what you guys had to say about that. Let's see. Master Oak says this right here. Just to add, in a big project like this, only the QA and directors have access to complete big picture. The individual developers will not have time to play the game and test it while they have their own duties to do, mostly their own isolated systems. And 99% of the bugs are problems with two systems done by two developers in contact with one another. Exactly. You know, it's a big system developing a game, and all those systems have to work well and also communicate with one another basically perfectly and in tandem. So yeah, in my opinion, there was potentially a lot of miscommunication going on between quality assurance and CD Projekt Red, or lack of it, obviously, with how the game released. It just needed more time. I think it just needed like another year, obviously, and another year of development as well. Now, MP says this: I've worked in QA and now as a dev, even if you have an external contractor testing your software, it is essential and expected that they deliver, testable iterations throughout the development cycle and showcase it to the owner, CD Projekt Red management team, to mark such work as completed. Then move on to the next iteration or sprint. Precisely. Yeah, you would know that something was up. If you're part of management, you go, this is not right. Like, you guys aren't testing this right at this point. You would have to be aware of that becoming a problem. Or they're breaking their contract. They're not fulfilling their duty. Now we have Average Manosphere, who says, waiting for the new DLC 1.5 was cool, but was still nothing to bring me back. I messed with it for a few days, a day or two, but still felt like one person walking around shooting things. Yeah, we need more beefy content. Free beefy content for sure. All right, so there it is, everyone. The latest happenings around Cyberpunk 2077. So let me know what you make of all the latest news. And yes, I am waiting for more official news about update 1.6. It's been so quiet, like in my opinion, too quiet. They just release the game, they do updates when they want to, and then communication has just been boop, practically nothing. Now we do have Edge Runners to look forward to. I just cannot freaking wait for Edge Runners. Let me tell you what. I am so hyped for this one, and yeah, that should fill the gap, I hope, for some of us between updates and things like that. I think that's what CD Projekt Red could potentially be thinking about, of course. So yeah. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned for more Cyberpunk news and updates, and yes, open world gaming news. Thank you for all the love and support lately on the videos, and I will see you all next time. Take care.